welcome to MGP480. I'm Kev, and with me as ever, the sheepdog Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
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 Do not let me have a week off again, boys and girls. I have just completely forgotten, after 10 years of doing this podcast, completely forgotten how to do the intro because we missed last week. You can't let us have weeks off like this, Pab. You're supposed to be the producer around here. You need to schedule these properly so that I don't forget how things work. Or write me a script or something.
It should just be up on cue cards in front of you. The podcast should just be scripted. We should just be reading the words as they come up, one word at a time on my screen. That is how it should be every week. Pab, you have
come on, Pabby,
7
you're letting
days
us
between
down
episodes.
here.
I don't like this.
Well, you had 14 days
I
most
don't like
recently.
This at all. I don't like seeing you two.
Do you know what I was going to say?
It's off-putting me. It's throwing me, and I don't know what to do.
Me and Sheepdog have got our cameras on, so we're
have.
just basically staring into Pabby's eyes as we talk.
I haven't seen Kev do an intro on a podcast in probably, maybe events more recently, special events, but not properly. Not a bog standard podcast episode in at least 5-6 years, surely.
You've never seen me do it wearing a hat, I don't think.
No, I haven't.
I'm not only am I wearing a hat, I'm wearing a flat peak hat, which is probably really disconcerting. So I don't wear flat peak hats, but I am wearing a Twitch flat peak hat because me and Anna were at TwitchCon last week.
Never again.
That's why we didn't have a podcast. We were in Amsterdam twitching.
You spent more time trying to get home from Amsterdam than you spent in Amsterdam twitching.
That's not strictly true. We got there on Friday morning and everything was fine until Monday afternoon. We had a lovely time twitching our faces off, doing Amsterdam things, wandering around the red light district and all sorts of fun stuff. And then Monday afternoon happened and we tried to get out of Amsterdam, left our hotel at 2. I'd been smart. I'd booked us late checkout at the hotel so we could check out at 2, wander down to the train station. We were at Amsterdam Central train station by about 2:15, ready for our 3:15 train out of Amsterdam. Everything was running smoothly, and then our train was cancelled, and the next one was cancelled, and we were supposed to be coming home by Eurostar, but because Eurostar doesn't come direct out of Amsterdam yet, you have to change at Brussels. So it was a Thalys regional train thingy that kept getting cancelled, and the person on that desk said to us, "Just get on the train to Rotterdam. You'll be able to get onto the train to Brussels there." So we just followed along, got on the train to Rotterdam that we didn't have a ticket for. I realised while I was on it that I was on a random train in a random country without a ticket. Got to Rotterdam. The Amsterdam woman had told us to get on.
Hold on.
Had left.
Hold on. We inherited a friend.
Yeah, by this point we'd recruited a little friend who followed us around for the next day or so. The next train was delayed by an hour. When we finally got on a train from Rotterdam to Brussels, we realised pretty much as soon as we were on it, it's a 70-minute journey, we realised as soon as we were on it that we were going to be missing our Eurostar back to London and the one after, so that our only hope was that there would be space on the final Eurostar of the day out of Brussels at like 8:30 in the evening. We arrived there about 7:30, and believe it or not, because of all the cancelled trains earlier in the day, everyone had the same idea. Everyone's trying to get on this last train of the day. It's fully booked. Not only is that fully booked, but the nice lady on the Eurostar desk told us how it was fully booked for the next 2 days. And all we could do was go on a reserve list, turn up half an hour before every train departure for the next 2 days. And if there was a gap, she would let us on the train if someone hadn't turned up. So we said, no, we're too fancy for that. So we booked ourselves a hotel and spent an extortionate amount of money getting a business premiere ticket for the next morning to get out of Brussels. So we stayed at a Brussels hotel, ordered a McDonald's, which was disgusting because they spilt my iced tea all over our McDonald's, so we didn't have any dinner. Woke up at the crack of dawn in Brussels to try and get the train back. The Eurostar, which we did get to go in the business premier lounge, which was lovely, wasn't it, Anna?
Yes.
The business premier lounge in Brussels is lovely. We got a lovely Brussels breakfast and coffees and beverages and all sorts of stuff. I got myself a weeing boy figure from the duty free, so it was all worth it. I got to buy that figure from Brussels. But then by the time we got back to London, firstly, that train was delayed because there were delays getting out of London because of the heat. This was heat wave day. We're trying to get out of Brussels. So the train was delayed by about an hour, which gave us an extra hour in the lounge, which was quite nice. But as soon as they said there was problems getting out of London, I thought, let me just check our connecting train when we get to London. Had a look. What do you know? It's been cancelled. Not only that, every train out of London all day has been cancelled. So we got into London at like 10:30 Tuesday morning, and there was no way to get home. It's a 45-minute train journey from London to where we live, to where our car was parked, and there was just no way to do it. There were no trains heading north out of London at all that day.
No buses.
All of the buses and coaches were cancelled or full. None of the car hire places had cars available. There was no way for us to get out of London, so we booked another hotel, our second unexpected hotel in a row.
Beautiful hotel.
It was like we headed over to Stratford, but didn't want to stay at our usual Premier Inn because we know the air conditioning was broken there last time we were there. So we stayed at the Hyatt Regency in Stratford, which has a fridge and coffee bags instead of coffee granules. And it is a nice hotel. Because it was last minute on booking.com, it was about the same price as the Premier Inn as well, which was even better. And nice air-conditioned room, sat in there for a bit. Anna slept all afternoon while I wandered around Westfield, doing my usual Westfield things.
What happened, Kevin?
I think I've re-torn my ACL.
No. What else happened, Kevin?
I don't know. What else happened?
While I was asleep, Kevin.
I don't know. Tell the story.
The alarm, Kevin.
Oh, God, yeah, there was a fire alarm. We had to evacuate the hotel. But then when we got downstairs, they were like, oh, it's just a drill. It was only your floor. The alarm went off.
We were on floor
the seventh
7.
Floor. The 7th floor was where they put all the last-minute people who were stuck in London. We found out when we were down there for the fire drill, there was like half a dozen couples who were all stuck in London for the same reason, and they'd put us all on the same floor and decided to fire drill us, which was nice. But Anna
they just thought you needed more drama.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anna slept all afternoon while I wandered around Westfield, just enjoying the air conditioning and doing Kevin things, and then wandered back to the hotel about 4:30 and just started yelling, come on, Anna, wake up. And eventually she woke up naturally, and we went to the cinema because it was air conditioned, so we spent the rest of the day in the cinema. We watched 2 movies. We watched Thor, we watched Jurassic World. Can confirm they are both movies. That is my review of both of those films. They are both motion pictures.
We saw Thor at the weekend last week. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, it was fine. It's a movie.
Yeah.
It was fine. And then got to St Pancras. So again, got up crazy early on Wednesday morning. Got to St Pancras. First train out of London heading north of the day because they had to check the tracks because of the heat wave the day before.
Well, they cancelled they cancelled that morning, didn't they, as well?
Well, no, they cancelled the 9:30 one that we had booked because the safety checks were still going on. So we knew about this while we were back at the hotel having breakfast. So I thought, I'll be smart. I'll book the first one that's actually still running. It was like the 10:15, but I'm going to book it first class because that way we'll have access to the first class lounge. So if it's delayed or cancelled again, at least we've got somewhere cool to sit with free drinks. And also we'll then get guaranteed seats. Got to St Pancras. It was like Wembley Tube Station after the FA Cup final. It was absolutely rammed, but no kind of police or security presence. It was just absolute chaos. The first class lounge was closed, so we just had to sit around with all the poor people. And and then when they called us for the train, half the people who were in front of us didn't get out of the way because they didn't want that train. They were waiting for a different train. So I had an argument with the guy stood next to the closed gate saying, just open these gates, let us in. I can't open these gates. So we had to queue round a different way. Eventually got onto the train. It was absolutely rammed. We did end up in the first class coach, but standing up in the doorway at the end.
I ran.
Yeah, Anna ran down the platform, but there was no reserved seats. There was no seats at all. I basically paid an extra £100 for our train tickets home, and the 2 reasons I paid that extra money, neither of them were available, but we did eventually make it home by about 11:30 Wednesday morning, which, I mean, accounting for time differences, it was a 46-hour journey home from Amsterdam. Yeah. 46 hours to get home from Amsterdam.
But on the way there, from the train through Passport, 11 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Going down there was excellent. We got into London at like 6 in the morning. We hung around at St Pancras for 2 hours because we were there far too early. But we were in Amsterdam by lunchtime, and it was so easy. I don't want to sound like I'm totally negative on Eurostar. On the way there, it was lovely, but on the way back, absolute chaos. If anyone from Eurostar is listening, can we please have some kind of refund or compensation? I spent £1,200 getting us home this week on top of all the original tickets we already had booked. And the app still isn't showing the original train as being cancelled. It's like nothing happened in the app.
Oh, yes.
Don't know alarm you, Kev, but you said how long? 48 hours to get home?
46.
46. Okay, according to Google Maps, if you'd have walked it, it would have taken you as long. You could have just walked. If you'd biked, you could have done it in half the time.
Jeez.
And there were plenty of bikes in Amsterdam. We could have cycled.
Apparently, it's a
But
day
then it would
away
have
by
been-
bike. And that's to
It would have
me,
been
to be
harder
fair.
to get our luggage home, my new Twitch pillow and all my other bits and bobs. I mean, the one thing that's good about it all is I now, in years to come, can tell my grandkids about the summer that me and Anna backpacked across Europe, because that is effectively what we did. We went from city to city to city over 3 consecutive days with backpacks. We have now backpacked across Europe. We've basically been interrailing. It's been lovely. And interrailing. And we never did buy a ticket for the train to Brussels. So if anyone wants to come after us for that.
Yeah, you're criminals now.
Yeah, we travelled from Amsterdam to Brussels on 2 different trains and didn't have a ticket for either of them.
You're going to get arrested. You're banned from Europe now. You're going to be on like a no-fly list for the rest of your life for being this.
Well,
sort
I
of
had been hoping to go to Gamescom in Cologne next
No!
month, but I've kind of spent my Gamescom money getting back from Amsterdam. I'm doubly furious because of that. I was looking forward to Gamescom,
No.
but that's possibly out of the window now.
So while I was talking to Kev about this earlier, I got to witness something that I have never seen before. I've known Kev, 13 years, and I've never seen him do this before. And I think Pab will be surprised to hear that this happened. But I saw Kev look upset about something someone said to him, and it absolutely threw me. And I wasn't the person who said it either, which kind of hurts.
Well,
but
if you'd have said it, you wouldn't have got that reaction.
maybe.
Because the reason, because it was my daughter who said something to me, and the reason that I have that reaction with them is because my children are the only people I can't fire back at. And that's the bit I'm upset about. Anyone else, I can just shoot straight back and it's fine.
It was
But
so
when they come for me, I will upset them if I come back at them with the same force they came at me. So I just have to sort of sit there and sulk about the fact that I just have to sit there and take it, and it's rubbish.
What did they say?
I am going to tell it. I asked him why he washed his clothes in shampoo and why didn't he just bin them and buy new ones. And he said, "I'm not binning this. This is my TikTok T-shirt. It's like a Wonder Bra for men."
Yeah, it's advertised as the Wonder Bra for men.
And Lucy just shouted, "It doesn't work." And Kev just died. Kev, like, literally,
Yeah,
it was
because
like...
there's nothing I can fire back. If you said that to me, I just come straight back at you. But when she says it, what am I supposed to do? Make my daughter cry?
When she went to her friends, I've never seen him react like that before. She was like, "Oh my God, I've never seen him do that." And I think Lucy and I shared this moment of like, Jesus, what?
I spent a lot of money on these T-shirts. Don't tell me they don't work.
I told you they're not very nice, Kevin.
Oh, brilliant. She looked really
I've
sad.
been wearing these all week.
Yeah, they're horrible. But you won't
That
listen.
seems fine. They seem all right. They just seem like normal black T-shirts. I get what he meant. And, oh, no, but... Yeah, Lucy and I were like, geez, he cares a lot about this tea. But all the way home, I've been chuckling to myself, thinking, I'm going to remember that face forever now. I'm going to know that he does. He does have that. That's empowered me, knowing he's got that weakness. I've seen the crack in the armour now.
Anna, stop sending me text messages.
Can you
Whatever you're
answer?
saying, we'll do it after the podcast.
Can you answer so I can book?
No, I'm doing a podcast. I've not even read them.
It's like,
I can
it's
see-
one line. Just...
It's 5 messages.
Yeah, because the 4 of them are Kevin.
Oh, you can wait until we
Oh,
finish
please,
the
so
podcast.
I can book.
Oh, Oh my word! No is the answer. I don't even know what the question is.
I can see him looking down.
I cannot
wondering...
possibly answer that question now. I don't know. You'll have to wait until the end of the podcast.
I can see him looking down, and I wonder what he was doing. I thought he was checking his mic or something. It is weird having the camera on because I can just see him nodding every now and again, and you can see me stretching my neck every 5 seconds.
I'm not looking at you. I'm playing Football Manager.
Nice.
But yeah, TwitchCon was wonderful. Amsterdam was great. We got to do all the touristy things in Amsterdam. I've got an Ajax shirt behind me somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is. I got my little weeing boy. We got to sample vending machine croquettes. We had bitter barlen. We went to the red light district and saw some lady parts. Yeah, it was a jolly good time was had by all. TwitchCon was great. Got to hang out with a load of the Football Manager crew. Got to do all sorts of... Got to be schmoozed. You know I love being schmoozed at an event. We got into the little Sega area and had mocktails, which was very nice. There was a Football Manager poster in the Sega area. In 10 plus years of going to conventions, I have never seen mention of Football Manager at any of them. It was quite exciting. And then doubly exciting when that was the area we got to go into and have some lovely mocktails. Not because we're Football Manager creators, because Work the Space used to work for Sega and knew the people on the stand, but all the same, it felt for a moment like Sega were almost taking us seriously as people who make them a lot of money. Seriously, millions of pounds over the years. That group of people have made that company. So that was quite nice. We got into the Twitch area, got a few freebies in there, got a free meal. This is where Anna and the other peasants had to stay downstairs, and just as Twitch partners got to go in there and get schmoozed and our freebies and free food and stuff. Got some nice Dutch chips, some nice Dutch hot dogs. It was free beverages. They were giving away Red Bull as if it was water. It was baffling in there.
Oh, we saw that Red Bulls come in bottles as well.
Yeah, they have bottled Red Bull in the Netherlands. Absolute madness.
But yeah, bigger wings or anything like that?
Probably, yeah. And yeah, just Amsterdam in general. Never been there before. Really cool city. Excellent transit system. And just very, very cool. Huh?
I can't fault it. The how much it cost was dirt cheap, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, we got a 4-day pass for the entire transit system for €25 each, which gave us full access to the trams, the metro, the buses, and you could just get everywhere. It was so much cheaper and better than trying to get around London. Just a really great city. It's a great place to have an event like TwitchCon. I'd never been to TwitchCon before. It was very much like VidCon. There wasn't loads to do there as just an individual going there to visit the convention. You wouldn't want to go and do that. But as a group of people just hanging out and doing different things, like a group of us just played table football for half an hour. We played FIFA. We just went about doing.
So while I was sat outside
and hanging out, yeah, Anna was sat
while
outside
I was
being
sat
miserable.
Outside on the floor, you were playing. Jesus,
I did keep saying, "Come in."
No, because it's boring.
We should be doing this stuff at other events, like the events where we walk around buying stuff and then we leave. We should probably be doing this table tennis-y, whatever it was you said.
Yeah,
football.
but there's never enough of us, is there? You need a bigger group of people to do this.
We're supposed to network with those people. We're supposed to say to people, "I'll meet you down there. Let's have a sumo wrestle."
Yeah, we've tried that before, and they never turned up. We've had scheduled meet and greets at conventions
No, I don't mean
before.
like. I mean, we should be continuing to do the fan meetup things, but I mean, we should also be going to meet random people from companies and stuff other podcasts or whatever it is, just networking,
I
like
ain't networking with a bunch of losers.
It's basically what you did. People that were shorter than you.
I mean, there were people I already knew them all.
But did you know them? You hadn't met them.
Yeah, I mean, most of them I've known for years.
If you hadn't met
several of them. I mean, the only one I hadn't met before was Zealand, because he is from the United States of America. Everyone else I've met loads of times. I've been out with loads of times.
Anyway,
it was just cool to catch up. It was a good event. Highly recommended. Now I want to go to the San Diego one in October, but Anna's now got it in her head. She never wants to travel anywhere again.
Never want to travel again.
The amount of times over the course of that journey home, Anna said something along the lines of, "Oh, this always happens to me." And I'm like, Anna, it has literally never happened to me before.
Yeah, but any time that I could travel any other time, but the one time I travel, everything goes wrong.
Yeah, but you see stuff like this happening on TV and stuff all the time, airport delays and travel chaos, and it has never before happened to you. All the places you've been to, it's never before happened to you. It was just a freak occurrence. We had the freak occurrence of the train being cancelled on Monday because of issues in Paris. Apparently there was some stuff going on in Paris. That was why our train was cancelled. And then the next day was the hottest day in the history of the universe. Those two things are very unlikely to ever happen back to back again. It was a freak occurrence. Let's go to Gamescom. Less than a month away, Anna. Come on. Let's go to Cologne.
No.
Cologne.
Answer my text.
Cologne. Oh, what are you saying to me? I cannot look at a calendar now.
Yes, you can.
I'm doing a podcast.
Yes, but...
And you've got something to talk about now anyway.
Do I?
You need to talk about Stray.
What, the cat?
Ooh.
Well, no.
Kev's book that he's been writing for the best part of a decade.
Exactly. Well, I've got to change the name of it now, haven't I? They've ruined that.
Call it Wanderer.
Yeah. Well, then Pab will sue me because it's his Xbox
Really good
name.
point. Yeah. Vagabond.
So I played Stray. I didn't play it on release date because I was stuck in Europe. Isn't that great?
You weren't. You were in London on release day.
I was
It
stuck
is part of
somewhere.
Europe, to be fair.
You could have played it on my Steam Deck.
You won't let me touch it.
That's true.
Exactly. So yeah, so I didn't play it on day one because I couldn't. So I've played it. It's about a cat. And
It is. We know that much.
you play as a cat who is in this like robot world that has tiers of like people. I don't know, but because like there's loads of chapters. I'm going to the mid tier now. Don't know what's up there. Never been there. But you fall down because you're with a group of cats, and then this is like literally at the start. You're with a group of cats. You fall after making a jump. And now you obviously want to get home to them, but you end up in like this slums where robots live, and then you have to go around doing like little chores for them. So
lots of excellent clambering in this game. I love a good clamber, and this is what I would describe as a great clamberer.
yes,
It really is.
there's lots
Just
of going
clambering
up, going
around all over the shop.
It
There was
doesn't.
one bit where I almost turned it off in a mood, where you get chased by these little weasel robots
Yes.
that chase you around and kept catching me and killing me. I think I died twice or three times, and I said to myself, if I die again this time, that's me done. I'm not going to keep repeating the same. I hate repeating the same part of the game over and over again, especially because it was less than an hour in, and it's just... Don't make a bit where I can keep dying this early in the game,
Yes,
or
but
ever.
you need it. There is an achievement for dying 9 times because you are said cat. So yes, do die.
The
but-
game should just uninstall itself.
Yeah,
when you
I
die
was
for
going to say
9
that. You
times.
should just stop working. That's your lot. You fool.
Yeah. So that these little things called Zerks, I believe, and so what I don't understand about these Zerks, like you come across like little snippets of information, and it's like, oh, they can eat through metal now, but like
Cats can.
no, these little things called Zerks, these little
Oh, sorry.
gremlins.
I mean, bear in mind, we're living in a universe here where cats can read. Apparently. Because they can follow
prove they can't.
signposts
Prove
and
they
they
can't.
can read the instructions where it says, come this way, follow me. And it's like, well, I'm a cat. I shouldn't be able to read that. I shouldn't know what an arrow means.
But you're in
So
a
much
different
just say,
universe.
tisk,
They
tisk.
may be Satan. Like, they may know what's going on. But yeah, so like you come across snippets about these Zergs, and it says they can chew through metal now, which is fine. Like they can do what they want. But when there's like puzzles with them in it, and you have like these puzzles where you have to trap them behind a metal like gate. They don't eat through that, so I don't know if that's like continuity of like.
Different type of
Yeah,
metal, couldn't it?
it was just I was like, well, if they can eat through metal, they can eat the robots. Why can't they get through this tiny little chicken wire of a fence? But you know, I'm not gonna mess with it. It's fine. Like you do what you need to do to have that story. But yeah, it's I don't know what's going on most of the time. I'm just clambering around, having naps next to people. I'm scratching floors. I don't.
Oh, yeah, I'm napping against everyone.
Again, I don't know.
What benefit does that cause? Is that something
You
that
just
like
being a cat, it's what cats do. I just like to nap.
Yeah, you can nap And it like zooms out, gives you a big overview of where you are, which are nice because like I do that and take pictures.
It's just part of being a cat. I just feel like I probably want to nap with this person.
Yep. So you nap. You can scratch doors. You can scratch.
I am
you
becoming
ruined my
cat.
back gate like my neighbour's cats
Yeah.
have.
Excuse me. I'm not going to ruin your back gate. No.
My garden gate has just been torn to shreds by the neighbour's cat.
I mean, when I was talking about this earlier in the year, it wasn't suitable for the podcast. Now you're talking about your back gate being torn to shreds, so all of a sudden it's fine.
I forget you told me to Vaseline it. If I do that, it'll fix the gate, won't it? Good
Yeah,
shout.
you need more vegetables and Vaseline on your sphincter, and then you're fine.
But yeah, those cats, they've wrecked the place. Can you do that in the game?
Yes, you do it to mats, you do it to back gates, you do it to people's doors. But yeah, you basically go around to a story, you find things in the world, and you go like you need cans to buy some wire to make a poncho for someone who's cold. And I couldn't.
Let's not forget, you're also wearing a backpack that contains a flying robot.
Yeah, you've got a robot with you. Like, I don't really want to spoil it, but yeah, there's a lot of clambering. You can go into places you didn't think you'd get into, because, like, you go up and you're like, where do I go? And then you see, like, maybe a window is open. You go, oh, go over there, go in the window. Or there's, like, a big sign and you have to, a fan, and you throw something into it to stop it. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice free. Well, I don't want to say free game, because I don't believe it's free if you don't have.
It is. It's not a full price game, though, is it? It's like £23 on Steam.
Oh, is it? I've never.
It's
I
not
didn't.
Full price.
Look, but like again, so it's like Game Pass. If you've got above basic PlayStation Plus, you get it free as long as you've got more than basic. But I'm not quite sure, because I also heard everyone was getting it. So
it's only like a 4 or 5 hour game as well.
It is, yeah. It's
not
very
like
short.
It's a big thing. It's by the people who made What Remains of Edith Finch and Journey and Flower, Unfinished Swan, all that kind of stuff. All the really cool PlayStation and Vita games from recent years. All the stuff I raved about, stuff like Journey and Unfinished Swan and all that kind of stuff. It's them lot again. You know what they're like. You're familiar with their work, boys and girls. We love all this.
We do.
It's a great game.
Do love them games. So that's been fun to play. I've been playing it for a few hours here and there. Again, it won't take me 4 hours. It will take me like 6 to 8 hours, because I go.
I'll have it done in a quick 4.5.
Whereas I go around to look and find everything. I'm missing one. So that they have like you have memories, and I'm missing one from a previous place. So I will have to go and replay that area, just so I get all of that, because that would drive me insane otherwise. So yeah, I played that, and then before we went away, I went onto Xbox and not restarted, but because I've already played it on PlayStation, I played the Jedi game. I forget what it's called. Fallen Order. Yeah. I'm just playing that again because I really enjoyed it the first time, and I just like getting achievements, so I'm playing it the second time. I know there's a new one coming out, so I'm excited for that. But like, I've never been into Star Wars that much. Like, it's not a thing that I'm into, but I really do like this game. You have a lightsaber from the start, and that thing's mad. You can spin it, you can throw it at people.
You can make your own at Disneyland, you know, if you want to go there.
Well, I like having one of them, a lightsaber. And now, you go through the game, and like, because the game on the Xbox comes with all the premium stuff that you can get. You got when you bought the game before. So I've got an orange light going on. And I like that. And then further on, you get to change that light if you want. And you can throw it. And you hit people with it. And you can, like, block bullets with it. It's an excellent weapon. You should get one.
You're literally explaining why Star Wars is successful.
Yes.
It's literally people want their little glow sword. That's the reason it's a successful
It
franchise.
It's very satisfying. Why are you laughing?
We have a plastic lightsaber in our kitchen, usually kept atop our fridge, because the boys are so annoying with it. They just get it and they hit everything in sight, and they like the noise and they play with it. So
Surely they need one each.
it usually gets down from there because we're tidying up, and then it soon ends up straight. I think it's probably back up there by now. I won't go into great detail, but our freezer chose the hottest day of the year to decide it's too hot to function as a freezer.
Every freezer
and it just stopped working. Yeah, I didn't realise that was a thing, but we panicked and tried to move everything off the top of it and around it, and found that the sides of it were boiling hot because we'd let direct sunlight go on it and all.
Oh, jeez.
We learned so many things about freezers that afternoon. It's fine now. But the lightsaber came down, and all I was hearing was constantly. So I don't know where I've launched that. It's somewhere in the house now. The boys won't find it again for some time. There's a baseball bat out there as well, because obviously we got them a baseball set, like a bat and ball set, and then they were just using it as a weapon. So it's like, right, you're on the shelf with all the other violent toys. A fishing rod up there. I don't remember why that was violent. It was just
Well, it's another thing you can hit people with.
Pretty much.
And it makes me keep my Nerf guns on top of the cupboard as well, so I forget they exist and don't run around nerfing her.
Yeah, it used to be there'd be a sword up there and all sorts of other things, but I think they've all been slowly thrown out. So I'm glad to know it's not just me that has this kind of shelf full of violent toys.
I've just realised Anna's snuck her games in before the fold of the podcast.
I know. This
You
is
said I had a
unacceptable
game
time.
to talk about, so I did.
But then you talked about a second one, you monster.
Because that's what I've played.
I was just
Kevin.
trying to get the hot off the press new release in there and then go back to normal scheduling, but now Pab's going to have to play an advert and none of the rest of us have even talked.
I mean, I'm also playing Watch Dogs 2 again.
Let him play the advert. There we go, much better. What are you saying?
I'm also playing Watch Dogs 2 again because that came on Game Pass and I like getting achievements. So I'm playing Watch Dogs 2 again. Watch Dogs 2 is such a fun game to play. Like, you're in San Francisco, you have the whole city to go around. You can go and pick people up. You can go and photograph things. Like it's like an Instagram where you go to a spot and then you like take a selfie. Like, you actually take selfies in the game. That's fun. You've got hacking. You've got like a jumpy like little robot thing. I really like Watch Dogs. I don't know why Watch Dogs gets a bad rap, but I love the Watch Dogs game, and now it's on Xbox. So that's like another 40 hours on the Xbox with achievements. And I like Marcus. Marcus is a fun guy. I'm sure. It was such a shame that he wasn't in.
He's a fun guy.
He's a hipster. He's a Kevin. So that's.
I'm the king of the hipsters.
Yeah,
I'm not actually a hipster. It's a crucial difference.
But yeah, I do. Watch Dogs 2 is such a pretty nice game. Like, the reference in it. Like, I was doing a pickup the other day, and they were on about Johnny Five, and I love Johnny Five, like the movies. What's the movies called? Short Circuit?
Short Circuit.
Oh, yep. Johnny Five is alive. I love them. And like, there's actually like references in it. And then the guy, like, the Marcus says something and he goes, "We don't talk about the sequel." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So yeah. But I love Watch Dogs. It's such fun. And like, I like all the hacking. Like, if something weird's happening in it though, like, this has happened twice in the Watch Dogs game. So, like, there is online hacking. And I've been playing, like, number 1 just, like, because I wanted to play Watch Dogs 1. And I followed someone to get, because, like, you have to download, like, data off them. And this weird things happen where they just stand next to you and let it happen. And it's like, you're supposed to be running away. Like, run, go away. And then this time, there was 2 people I was supposed to be hacking on. So, like, you have to hack 1, but you have to chase after 2 because the other one is trying to hack as well. And they just went into a shop and just stood there and was changing their outfits while I was, like, hidden behind a pillar, taking their data. And then it was just like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the online, whether people just don't care or whatever, but yeah, weird happenings in Watch Dogs 2. I don't really like going online normally because people are very violent and they're not very nice people. They'll just like shoot you as soon as they see you, and that's not the way the game is supposed to be. Like, you're supposed to do it stealthily, but I don't know. But yeah, Watch Dogs 2, very cool game on the Xbox service now. Also, Far Cry 5 is on the Xbox service. I'm not replaying that because that game annoys me. Because, like, you play, like, so you go through Far Cry 5, and when you get to a certain percentage of taking down people, they have, like, a helicopter that comes around, and if it sees you, it will just shoot you, and it will kill you. And it's like you just have to hide in trees and just wait until they go away. And I hate that again. I hate the fact that you have to wait for this helicopter to stop circling around these trees so you can move on. And
Are you now telling us about a game you're not playing?
Yes, because I'm just saying why I'm not playing it, because I do like Far Cry games, but I'm just saying why. And then, like, the Wolverines are horrible creatures, and so are honey badgers. They are evil things. But yeah, I'm not playing. That's why I'm not playing.
There you go. I mean, important news.
Evil.
Anna doesn't like honey badgers.
They're horrible.
They don't care.
Things.
They don't care. Honey badgers do not care.
So, drifting away from games Anna's not playing this week, I had a monumental moment happen twice this week. I finished Persona 4 Golden twice.
Yeah, I watched him go on his phone.
Yeah, because there's a point you get to in any Persona game where it has the whole, you are now reaching a point where blah, 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 blah. Do you want to save? So I always drop down a couple of save points there because there's so many different endings in Persona games. And basically you get to the point towards the end of Persona 4 where you meet the baddie and you get the chance to talk to him, and there's 7 questions, and if you don't get all 7 questions exactly right the way the game wants you to, in the right order, you get one of the bad endings. So I went through it without help the first time, did what I thought were the right answers, just, these seem like what I would actually say, and then next thing you know, time's jumped forward 3 months and I'm being sent back to my parents. And I mean, it feels like a good-ish outcome. Everyone survived, everyone's happy. But having played the game before, I also know that I've not actually found the right baddie, and I've not done the final dungeon and all that kind of stuff. So I then reloaded, got my phone out, sat there on the Eurostar traveling to Amsterdam, looking at the right answers to the questions in the right order, went back through and redid it again after having to sit through the whole of the credits first, because there's no way to skip the credits. So I've had to sit there and let the credits run through, and then put the answers through in the right order. And then there must have been another 10 or 15 hours of game after that I played over the next couple of days, and then did get the perfect ending, the best ending. So I have now finished Persona 4 Golden, I guess 3 times, because I finished it on the Vita originally. I love this game. I can't decide what my favourite Persona game is, because I love 5, but I love 4. I need 5 to get out on the Steam Deck now. I know it's coming out, I think, October. 5 is coming out on everything. I cannot wait. These games are perfect for the Steam Deck. It is exactly what this lovely little bit of kit is for. And because they're a little bit older and not very power intensive, I could play for the full 4 hours of our train journey and not have to plug in at any point. Whereas if I was trying to play something like Horizon on there, which is what I was trying to do when we were at Centre Parks, literally you get an hour and a half and then the battery's dead and you've got to plug in. And even when you're trying to play a real top AAA game plugged in, it somehow is still draining the battery even though you're plugged in. So some of the real top end games that really push it does struggle a little bit with, but because, I mean, Persona 4 is a PlayStation 2 game, I think, that was re-shinied up for the Vita and for Steam. But it's an old game, and it will just, like I say, I could sit there for 4 hours of a train journey playing it the whole time and still have battery to spare when I was done. But absolutely love it. If for some reason, after all these years of me going on about it, if there is any way you've still not played Persona 4 Golden, sort your life out, get it played. It's like 15 quid on Steam. I imagine it's probably free somewhere on the PlayStation subscription services.
The price of it puts me off. Not the price of it, sorry, the length of it. the price of it. The length.
I
of
mean,
it
this
puts me
one's
off.
much shorter than 5. Persona
Right.
5 is probably a 100-hour game, whereas 4, I think the perfect ending I got done in less than 50 hours.
Okay, that's
So
better
it's
than I was
not
expecting.
it's
actually,
not
then.
completely daunting.
Okay, that makes me feel a bit silly because, like, I was thinking it was like a 100-odd-hour game, and I was like, when you first said 50, I thought that sounds long though. But then actually, I've put 60, maybe 65 hours into Hollow Knight now, and I don't feel like I played that excessively.
Which is a game that
so-
most normal people only played for about an hour before being like, nah, this is rubbish.
it is quite funny. It's I was chatting to someone about this the other day. A few of us were in a chat. We've been playing it. We've been all playing it on Discord and having it on the screen now. And most of us have save file 1, a sub 1 hour save file. Mine was 15 minutes. Someone else's was about 25 minutes. And I don't think they're dated, but we all had the same story of we played it, and then about a year later played it again, and that save file is like 60, 70 plus hours long. And apparently that's quite common. You start it up, you go, I'm not really sure what to do here, and then someone tells you later on to do it, and then you go and you have another try it, and you like it. You said earlier about not liking repeating the same thing over and over again. I spent an excessive amount of time trying to do what's called the Pantheons in this game, and the end boss, and some other bits and bobs, and it was just ridiculously hard work. There's this like secret end boss that you could do, similar to what you said. I think you have to achieve certain things in the game and then go back and redo the end boss, and it gives you the next boss. So my voice has decided to just give out. I haven't spoken all podcast, and now it's giving out.
It's lovely.
Anyway, there's this boss called the Radiance, and it involves you having to skip all these insane swords and things flying all over the shop and hopping up platforms and, you know, avoiding these lasers and avoiding this, that, and the other happening. And then once you've kind of beat 2 stages of it, you have this like 3rd stage where literally all you have to do is climb up a few steps. That's it. You climb a few steps, you whack it with your little nail, and it dies. I'd spent probably 3 or 4 hours across a couple of streams trying to do this boss and failing. And I got to the steps the first time and accidentally fell off and died. And it's like, right, okay, that's fair enough. I'd never got to that stage before. I panicked. I fell off. It's all right. I got there, and the next time I had full health. So if I fell off, I wasn't going to die. I was going to come back, and I was going to get to the top, and it's going to be fine. I got all the way to the ledge. And I thought, right, here we go. And I jumped, and I tried to do like a more powerful kind of special move to really just oomph the end boss and give it what for. And it just didn't die. And I was like, what's going on? So I just jumped, missed it completely, and died. And I screamed in horror. Like, I couldn't believe my misfortune. I felt like such a moron. So, I mean, it took me another 45 minutes of repeating it again and again and again to get to that point. And this time I was like, right, I'm standing here, I'm jumping forward, I'm swinging myself, I'm going to do the most basic move possible. And I managed to defeat it. So I'm kind of at a point now where I'm still not anywhere near the ultimate kind of expert level pro gamer, top level game on this. I've done more than most people, but I think I'm at 107% of the game completed, and 112 is the maximum you can do. And even then, there's like a 52 chain boss fight after that you have to do. That doesn't count towards a percent, but it's like that's the you've done everything you could possibly do in this game moment. And I'm thinking I'm probably not going to reach that now. But I've been playing this for months now, and as I say, 70 odd hours, and I've really enjoyed it. I think I'm almost at the end of my time with it. I don't think I'll probably do it on a stream again unless like anyone. I might sit and do it on like Discord or something. But after after I'd done those ones, after I've done the ones that I thought I could feasibly sit and do, I had a chat with some people. I've been mentioning this for a while. I was going to be doing some streaming of Minecraft with my friends from Discord, because obviously Kev had also said he didn't really fancy doing it this year. He doesn't have to bug for it this year. I got invited to be the one of the mods in the gang that are doing it, so I get admin rights, which I didn't have when I played with Kev.
No, because you're an irresponsible buffoon.
Well, it has been. I mean, it's quite funny because we're playing Minecraft, we're playing on Java, which we did before. Obviously on the 1.19 update with the frogs and other bits and bobs that are added to it. There's like 30 of us on this server, maybe 40 even. So I've never played on a very large server before. I've never played with a very busy server, and I've never been an admin. So what we're finding is we started it the night before everyone was invited into it just to set it up. And we spawned, I jumped over the back of spawn, turned a cave into a house by just building a flat wall across the front of it. I've built the ugliest house on this server pretty much. Everyone else is very creative and has built these wonderful, beautiful cathedrals. And...
Nobody's surprised that you built an ugly house.
Exactly. Someone did say to me, because what I did, I realised how pretty everything else was, so I tried putting some like wood along the... like you taught me to make the wood frames and stuff. I tried to do that, but like just on a flat cave front, it doesn't look right. But someone said to me, oh, I like the wood you added to it. And I was like, well, that's very kind of you to say it, but I know it's ugly. I just did it because I was kind of like, I should probably make an effort. I was trying to remember all the things that we had trouble with or whatever. Like, someone found bamboo, so I planted a little bamboo farm outside. I planted a little sugarcane farm outside. I had a box full of boats prepared. Got myself a fishing rod that I've been upgrading. I was desperately trying to get an infinity bow, which I just got last night. It's really hard to find things. I mean, finding diamonds is easier than finding iron in this new update. In the new update, iron's in mountains, and you have to kind of find iron deposits in mountains somewhere and go nuts in them. Whereas if you're just gadding about at whatever level iron used to be,
do your iron golem farm.
So somebody has built one of them now, and because I'm one of the few people with obviously admin rights, I can teleport. So I've been kind of I went on and I was just like, right, who needs iron? So, /TP, typing in people's names, bringing them a little sack of iron. People needed sand, so I was a sand man for a bit. I've just been doing that, just delivering little rounds. But I realised how some of the stuff you built has taken you freaking ages. Even some of the most basic things you built, the little mob farm you built, where it was basically like an underground dark place with a roof overhanging it. I tried to build one of them, and I made a fatal mistake of building it something like 15 blocks wide and 35 blocks long, and it spawned like 2 mobs every 25 minutes. It was the most pathetic, useless thing. I finished it. I was like, oh, come and have a go. And people come over, and we just stood there and nothing happened. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. First, I found out one of the other admins had turned spawns down by a massive amount, like for some reason. And I think they were trying to keep the server going, and they'd over-egged it. So I've made them put it back to normal. And then I found out that actually I was probably less than half the right width. So now I've increased the width of the building, and it's like every sort of 90 seconds at least, at most. Sorry, every 90 seconds I get 4 mob spawns. So I'm like, that's kind of working all right. But by the time I'd finished it, everyone else has found like a zombie spawner, a skeleton spawner, a spider spawner, and I could just go to their house and fight that. You know what I mean? I can go in there and start hacking away at that. So that's done me in. I keep remembering when we were in London and I was going for that meal, and you were like, "You're going for a meal with a load of sheepdogs here. Are you prepared for this?" I'm playing Minecraft with a load of sheepdogs because everyone wants to collect all the animals and build a little zoo. It's like the amount of people who've already got like an ocelot, a panda, a parrot, and all of this. Everyone's like, "Oh, I've got a parrot. I need a name tag." And I'm like, "Yeah, that rings a bell." Everyone's doing the same kind of thing of, "Can you teleport me from A to B?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, all right, go on in." I've learned that very quickly how to do that. We all get lost constantly. Even though I can teleport and I've got a compass, we're all like, I don't know the way home. I don't know where I am. It made me laugh because I thought I feel quite like I'm fitting in with this one. People aren't getting frustrated with me because they're doing the same thing, which has been lovely. It's been great fun though. We've been roaming around. Everyone's been building their own little farms and holes and statues and like dedications to people or whatever it is. Someone built a giant statue of their wife. We were just like, what? It's massive. It's just been really fun playing it. I'm loving Minecraft mode, just getting in there. I haven't seen much of the frogs. I've seen frogs, but I haven't seen tadpoles anywhere. I don't know whether I can catch them in a bucket or what. I found the first allay I've ever seen. I hadn't seen an allay before. The little blue things. You hand them items and they go search for it for you. We handed it a gold carrot and it just didn't do anything. It just went around in circles and kept giggling and not giving us anything, which was a bit confusing. But that seemed cool. We're trying to figure out whether we can keep them as pets, whether anything good will come of that. We're planning on doing some sort of server events, challenge people to design the best X, Y, and Z, and we'll judge it. Or we're going to go and do a mansion together and tackle the dragon together and that kind of thing. So it should be fun streaming that over the next sort of few weeks. It's been quite cool getting like 8 people in on stream and just them all chatting away, and we're all going on adventures, having a laugh. Someone weirdly made a hole where they covered it in honey, and then we just jumped in the hole, and it just made this very awful squishy sound. I was just like, oh, okay, this sounds a little bit gross. It's one of those where it sounded gross, but actually quite, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I'm going to do that again. Jumping in, going, ooh, okay, I'm going to jump in. Yeah, that was funny. Just weird things people have made. Very, very confusing, weird things that you're like, why did you make that? But also because there's so many people, it's just shooting up. Like a few people have said on Twitch, oh, I'd like to see you build stuff. And it's like, no one's going to wait around and build it in the 2 hours when they could spend the whole 4 days in between building this massive railroad across the map or whatever it is. And this is again why I'm saying the stuff you built was even more impressive because you were doing that on your own, whereas this is
I spent a lot of time playing Minecraft last year.
I kept trying to describe to people the tunnels you were building in the Nether, the sort of all-round netherrack that you could kind of ice through on a boat. And we've just got these paths that you can fall over the edge of constantly. We keep calling them OSHA violation paths because it's like you'll be walking along and then you'll just get hit by a ghast that sends you off into the lava. But no, I think we're all debating over what the best way to transport across the place is and all of this. And I keep saying your way is the best, but other people want to build their own railroads and this sort of thing. So I imagine we're going to end up with lots of different routes. But it has been really cool just seeing how people do it. Some people literally just went, right, I'm not going to build, I'm just going to walk. And they're 30-odd thousand blocks away from home and they're still walking and they keep just coming across things on their travels. And I'm like, that's quite a cool way to play the game. And other people are just digging straight down and living at the bottom of the world. And they've added a whole minus 100 blocks. So before 0 was the bottom or whatever, but it goes even further now into deep what's called deep slate cobble or something like that, and that's where I went down there thinking that'll be where the iron is, and it's just diamonds and redstone everywhere. And I'm like, cool, okay, nice one. I ended up with diamond stuff before I ended up with iron stuff. Basically, I think. I mean, I must have had iron stuff to get the diamond, but I've got way more diamond than I had iron until we had the farm. But no, it's been really cool. It's just been great being back in it again. I didn't remember there being goat horns last time we played it. Do you remember them? They go when you blow into them. I think
so.
But that people seem to love that, and it's one of those things where if I hear the noise enough times, I start feeling violently ill. So I've been kind of oh yay, keep doing that, thinking I need to find a mod to turn this, a mod for my game so I don't hear this noise. Apparently there was a joke update they did recently where it was just a sound of screaming instead, and I was like, okay, I don't want that either. So apparently Minecraft do have an update for it.
I'd like that. I like a screaming goat.
But no, it's just been absolutely fantastic being back in the game, being back on it. I got a flaming bow and immediately regretted it when I was setting fire to my surroundings. But we have got blasts don't break things if stuff blows up and fire doesn't spread. So, and we also keep our inventory when we die, and that has been a godsend because
coward's life. I see.
It is fun, though. I mean, a couple of people have been getting upset because some of us haven't been following the rules. We'll be like, oh, I'm a bit hungry. I'm going to just jump in some lava so that I respawn not hungry because I haven't got any food on me. Or, oh, I can't bother to walk home. I'm just going to throw myself in the lava and it'll just come up like sheepdog fell from a great height. And it's like, oh, you're going home, are you? And I imagine eventually we'll turn that off. I just think we did a vote beforehand how people wanted to do it, and that was one of the things that people put on. They didn't want to lose their stuff. There was a couple of rules people put on there they didn't want, and so we've kind of gone with that as a consensus thing. But no, it has been really, really cool just playing with a load of people, having great fun. I keep just going on there for a bit after work or after dinner, whatever it is. After the podcast, I'll probably fire it up for a little bit, just do a bit of work in there and then go to bed. But I love it. It's really good, and the update's been really cool. I keep hearing there's going to be another update soon and no one knows what it is yet and that kind of thing. Everyone's debating what the next big update's going to be, but I've not read anything yet. I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping that if you obviously miss this year and you start getting into it again next year, that we'll have another Minecraft summer next year, that you'll hopefully be enticed back in. What would entice you back in? What would it need to be? Just I
need to forget everything.
I suppose that's it. I mean, it has been fun knowing it all, though, for me. I mean, knowing enough that I'm not this rookie noob who needed the whole world.
Yeah, but you know how my brain works. I'm only interested when I'm learning. Once I know, then I'm not interested anymore. Unless it's Football Manager, which just has that weird hook on me that I'll never let go.
That makes sense. So the only other thing that I wanted to mention, it's not really a review, and I'm not going into any detail. It's more of a public service announcement for this is a Pokemon Go thing. They've got a collection challenge on at the moment, and if you only really play the game to complete the Pokedex and you don't really go in that often or you don't track it that often, there is a collection challenge at the moment where you have to catch 6 Pokemon, 6 water-type Pokemon. You've only got... oh, God, it doesn't tell me how long. Because I've already done it. It doesn't tell me how long it's on for. I think it's this weekend, but if you do it, you get a Panpour, which is a regional Pokemon that you can only get in, I think, America. So if you're not planning on going to America in the next few months, this is the only way to get this Pokemon. You catch these 6 Pokemon, it's the reward. You get it, you're sorted. You can evolve it if you give it enough candy or whatever, and that's your Pokedex done. And then I think in a week's time, it might be the week after, they're doing the same thing with Pansage, which is the green equivalent of it. And yeah, there's a couple of dex fillers there that you can't get any other way. So this is the weekend to log in, catch your 6 Pokemon, get your blue one. Jobs are good, and there you go. And that's my lot. Over to Pabby.
Pabby!
Hello.
Take us home, Pab.
Take you home?
Yeah, round things off.
Okay.
Tell us about your new toy, Pabby.
My new toy? My Steam Deck has arrived.
Oh.
Last week.
Hey!
Finally. It seemed to coincide with Prime Day, so I conveniently got myself a new SD card. Bottled it on the terabyte one because I couldn't justify it, 150 quid or whatever they wanted for a terabyte SD card, so I just got a 512.
I think that's what I've got in mind.
I couldn't justify it. Everything was saying everywhere. Just these work. The
thing is, the games don't run very well off it anyway, so I always have to. If you want, when the game I'm currently playing, I move on to the built-in storage anyway, so I don't need loads of storage for it.
Yeah, I've not. To be fair, I've not really played tons on it. I played a game.
Indie games are okay off the SD card, but if you're trying to play a big game, then it isn't going to run very well off the SD card anyway.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make sense to just have a few that you could just swap in and out anyway, in theory? Like, you could just go,
Yeah, but then you'll lose them, won't you?
Well, that's the thing. That a lot of them were saying it's simple as just plug and play sort of thing. Just get a couple of them. If you just get a couple of 512s and then move games in and out as you want them sort of thing. Especially if you're using it like you are and moving it for storage and moving it onto the built-in storage when you play it, then maybe that'd be the way to go. But I got like some all singing, all dancing SD card, which is like everything we're saying. Get this type of card, this rate of speed and what have you. So I don't know. We got one. Got myself a power bank thing as well. That's 65 watts.
Yeah.
Which is what you need. Apparently, you need something at 65 watts or something because it'll only charge at 40 watts or something like that, where it's gonna charge and play at the same time or something. Something like that. Anyway, we got one of them, and then I played a game of watching all my games download. That's pretty much.
Yeah, that's fun. That takes hours, doesn't it?
It's just a game of just going, oh well, I've suddenly got this library, and you don't realise how much you have. I didn't even know I had this many games. I didn't know I had all the Sonic games.
All these Humble Bundle games you've accumulated over the years.
Yeah, tons of them. That's fun. Just going through the library. What I find baffling is the things that are verified and not verified, because for me sometimes it seems very random and like doesn't make sense that BioShock 2 is verified. BioShock 1 and Infinite, no. What? Why would it? What? Why would you can play? That's the one I want to play too. That's definitely the one that I want to be playing. But and like Batman, Arkham City is available. Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight, no.
Sometimes it's as simple as whether or not it has a launcher or a login screen.
Yeah.
I know with the Fallout games, the only reason they don't show as verified is because they have a launcher, which means it can't show as fully verified.
But a lot of them are just unsupported. It's not even like semi-verified, like, playable. Because I mean,
it might just be that they've not got around to checking it yet.
Yeah, I assume it's these sort of things because that's the thing though. Some are just unsupported, and for me that tells me they have done something, because there's a lot of my games are unknown. It's like we've not got round to this yet. Whereas if you've got unsupported, it's clearly like nobody wants to do the work on this. He's like, well, why pick Arkham City and not do Arkham Asylum or Arkham Knight? It feels weird just to pick the middle one of a lot of games. It's random. It's so random. And
It might just be that those games came out when Steam was just pushing controller support and stuff.
Because
Because that's basically if it was controller supported, by and large, it's Steam Deck supported.
Yeah, and this is the thing. You see, I bet that half of them games work. They just if I tried it, I bet
Yeah,
it
you
probably
just have to
works.
fiddle around and map the controls yourself, probably, for some of them.
Probably. So, I've done lots of downloading of stuff, lots of watching of videos of what you can and can't do, and I tell you what, have you noticed that you cannot just put it in sleep mode and let it download stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't I like
Yeah.
say I've just got to leave the screen just on, just leave it just on
Yeah.
in the just overnight, just have it running constantly for hours, and they're like, great, this is insane that you can't just put it in sleep mode and just let it do its thing. While
Sleep mode in general is very hit and miss on it. Like when you try and put a game into sleep mode and come back to it, half the time the game won't
be back where it
it'll
was.
just
Yeah.
crash and won't. Yeah. So I tend to not use sleep mode at all anyway. I always, rather than on the Switch, I would just turn it off and then come back to it when I was
Yeah.
ready to use it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a step backwards on the Steam Deck where, I'm going to save, I'm going to come
Yeah.
out of the game,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if I don't, there's no guarantees it's actually going to work when I turn it back on.
I've been doing that. I've been like, okay, I need to get to a save point. I'm like, I'm nowhere near a save point. I can tell I'm nowhere near a save point. I was like, okay, another hour on the thing, faffing about, getting to a save point, because I thought, I know I can't just turn this off. So
Have you tried getting Game Pass running on it yet?
No, because it's only from what I've read. I've looked it up, and from what I've read, it's only really Game Pass Cloud, Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'd just like to play Forza on it. That's. I know I could buy it on Steam,
buy it on
but
Steam,
when
but
I've
yeah.
already got it on Game Pass,
I know.
I'm going to drop 40 quid on it.
yeah, that's it. And like this also sort of coincided with a Steam sale, so I did stock up on Steam stuff, and then so I mean I've played. Speaking of games that have a launch, I've played it probably about an hour or so. Titanfall 2, which requires you to log into Origin and have Origin installed, which I don't understand why, because it lets you install the game through Steam, but then you still have to install Origin for whatever it is. So it then takes you to like the window of installing
I think
Origin.
that's the reason FIFA's not shown as verified for the same thing.
It shows it's playable, so it's playable. And
Yeah.
once I did the thing of logging into Origin and faffing about installing Origin, it must just be like something that just checks that it's an actual thing. But then that's the thing, is that I was expecting to start the game again. It loads all my saves in. It loaded like 15 minutes of achievements. Just kept pinging achievements. Just like, this is getting silly now. I can't play the game. It's just constantly pinging achievements. So I played some of that. I played about an hour. I can confirm Titanfall 2 is still very good. I played some of that. I've played like I say, the main things that I've played are probably Titanfall 2. I've played probably another hour or so of Yakuza Like a Dragon. That plays well on there and works well. Didn't have a clue what was going on there. Realistically, you don't. I remember I went to a gentleman's club where one of my teammates got a job in there to infiltrate, and then I beat up a big bold pervy man.
Yeah.
Sheepdog?
It raised my eyes then, like, what?
So yeah, I beat up a big bold man who was groping women.
Sheepdog?
And I was like, okay, this is still that game. What else have I played on it? I played about an hour of Stray. I like Stray. I played about an hour of Stray on there. I've exclusively just played it on there. It runs fine on there. It doesn't seem to have any issues on there. Have you played it on the Steam Deck, Kev?
No, I spent too much money getting back from Amsterdam. I've played the free version.
Oh, you got the... Let's see, I haven't got the upgraded PS Plus, so that's what I haven't played. I just got it on the Steam Deck, so it seems to play fine on there. What else have I played?
Plus, Anna forbade me from downloading it on Tuesday when we were in the hotel.
Oh, right.
Oh, he would have
Because
been
I
in
was like,
trouble.
I could buy it and just play it today while we're here.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she wasn't going to allow it.
I'd step on it. I'd jump on
Yeah,
it.
she made a lot of threats when I said, it's on the store now.
Yeah. To be fair though, you wouldn't have got it till it didn't unlock till 6 p.m. on the Steam because
There you go. Then we were in the cinema by then.
Steam games never unlock. They unlock at like 10 a.m. West Coast America, which is
Stupid Valve.
6 p.m. our time, which is really annoying. I get in from work at 3 and I'm like, okay, let's play this. Oh, never mind, you can't even install it. Great.
I mean, that's not a Steam across the board thing, surely, because Football Manager does it whenever they press the button.
In general, it's not. The Steam updates 10 a.m. West Coast, whoever it is, every day, and that's when all the new releases, everything pings at that time. More often than not.
In Football Managers, whenever they feel like pressing the button, it then takes a couple of hours.
It
can happen any time during the day.
I don't know whether it's certain like it rolls around on like a Steam updater or whether you could probably put it through manually sort of thing. Probably. I don't know how it all works, but more often than not, it tends to be around 6 p.m.
I guess most games actually have stuff scheduled, whereas Football Manager don't know the day it's releasing until the day they release it, and then they press the button and do it manually. So I imagine it's just Football Manager doing Football Manager things.
Yeah, it's a strange one, Steam. I've also found out this week that Geometry Wars is on. I didn't know Geometry Wars was on Steam.
Oh, Pab, don't say that.
Don't say them
I've
words.
played a lot. I've played quite a bit of Geometry Wars this week on Steam. It's £2.39 or something like that. I bought it
That's
for,
ridiculous.
and I was like, "This is insane." There's no Geometry Wars 2 or anything like that. It's just original Geometry Wars.
The PGR one.
Yeah,
that was the original one,
something like that. Yeah, Geometry Wars Retro Evolved, I think it's called, and it's there, and it plays exactly like that. It should, and it's.
I loved that game.
It's so good. I was like, oh, this is such a good game of just. If I'm watching something on the iPad and I don't have to be paying full attention to it, I could be playing Geometry Wars while I'm doing this, and that's what I did.
I tell you what I could recommend while we're on the topic of Steam Decks. If anyone wants a really unusual experience on the Steam Deck, go to Amsterdam, visit a coffee shop, make sure you've got noise-cancelling headphones, put them on, load up your Steam Deck and play Res Infinite. That's just going to break your brain. That was my Saturday night, and I didn't last long before I felt like I was going to vomit. It was an interesting experience. I thought, this has got to be the moment to play Res Infinite, and it almost broke my mind.
You played what?
Res Infinite.
I don't know what that is.
It's I tried to explain it to you at the time.
I was asleep.
It's like it's sort of rhythm actiony, but also 3D polygon. I don't even know how to explain it. It's lots of bright lights and thumping dance music and rhythm stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
That's very good.
I was at my back garden.
Res is very good in VR. If you have any chance to play it in VR, it is something else. I've not played it yet, but I probably am going to install it. I'm just thinking, I did see Super Hexagon on there.
Oh,
no.
Super Hexagon.
I might play that again because that's very good. I bet that'll last you. I bet you could do 8 hours on Super Hexagon. On a Steam Deck.
Is that do is that song?
It's the one that you hate it when me and Andy go through our spells where we love it.
I hate it so much.
If I walk around the house tomorrow just for a few minutes playing that game with the volume up, he'll be on it for the next month.
It's not joking. You laugh, but oh god, not again.
What else? I've dabbled in trying to get emulators and stuff on to no avail. I'll figure it out at some point, or I'll wait till somebody else figures it out. And
the only reason I'd want an emulator on there is to get a load of old Pokemon games on there.
I've got a lot of old games.
Aren't they coming to Switch? Sorry to interrupt, Pep.
They might do, but that's not Steam
They've
Deck.
been talking about it, haven't they? I don't know if is that actually announced.
I thought it was, but
They haven't got.
It's been rumoured for years, ever since.
Any emulators on there for Switch. If they haven't got Game Boy emulators or anything like that, unless they're bringing them out, re-releasing them again, and charging you another.
Well, I guess when they're
shutting
they're shutting down the 3DS store thing. Surely they've got to allow those games to be purchased somewhere.
No, they're going to a Nintendo Online thing where
they're leaving money on the table.
That sounds like Nintendo.
Madness.
Yeah.
I'd buy them again. I bought them all on my 3DS is full of old Pokemon games. I bought through the store thing.
Yeah, I found a DS with a load of them on. I was like, oh god, I don't even know I bought all these. Anyway,
apparently there's sorry to interrupt again. Apparently there's a Game Boy Advance emulator that's been added to the console somewhere in the code, and there's rumours that they think they're going to be launching Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. So I guess they are planning on doing whatever ones you can't get elsewhere, which you can get Gen 1. So I guess you'd expect 2 and 3 maybe at least. 4 they've added recently.
They haven't got any on the Switch, have they?
Well, 1 you play through Let's Go. 2 you can't get on the Switch. 3 you can't get. 4 they've just remastered. I imagine they're remastering 5 soon. 6 and 7 aren't that old yet, so I don't know. Maybe they'll figure something out with them. But yeah, I guess they'll probably add the ones that are going to be the longest wait now, and then remaster them later or something, won't they?
It's Nintendo. You'd like to think so. The common thing you tend to do the opposite of what the obvious answer is.
They did add the original Pokemon Snap, the N64 one, to it apparently.
Yeah, they added to the online thing and the puzzle one as well, didn't they? They've added that one as well, the Puzzle League, whatever it was. What else I have done though, like I say, I couldn't get the emulators working. I have got the Heroic launcher to work. Have you heard of Heroic launcher, Kev?
I have not.
The Heroic launcher is a launcher that acts as a GOG and Epic Games launcher.
And so you've been playing Fortnite on it? Is what
no, because it's Fortnite. It does. I've not tried Fortnite because it's not really worth it. But I do own Hades and other games on Epic rather than Steam, and I wanted to buy it on Steam, but I've done so much on the saves and whatever, and that's the thing. The saves come with it. Well, the saves came with my Hades one. I don't know if it's because Hades has cloud saves built into it, so I can carry on my game from Steam.
Can you get Blizzard running on it? Because I'd really like to get Diablo going on there.
I have not seen anything on that. I've not even heard anything on that. I think I would, and I thought about this today, and I thought I'm surprised I've not heard anything about a Blizzard launcher. But Battle.net, I don't know if Battle.net. See, that's the other thing. I don't. How many online games have you tried playing? Because I don't.
I've not really.
That's the thing. I know it doesn't like you. I know, like Destiny and many games just went, this ain't gonna work because we don't like to have to deal with the anti-cheat stuff and whatever like that. And I know Battle.net, a lot of Battle.net games all have like an internet connection type thing. I don't know. Maybe you could do it because you could probably do it like the console version, couldn't you? Oh, I don't know.
I've already got it and played through it on my Switch. I'd just quite like to play it on something else. I own it on everything else. It seems wrong that I've got a device that I don't have Diablo on.
Yeah, too right. I felt the same. I did think of it. So I was thinking, wonder if there's any Diablo likes on Steam and whatever. And I did see a couple, and I was like, oh, maybe. And I didn't end up buying them or downloading them. But yeah, that is. But no, what else I have played? I've not played too many other games that aren't Steam Deck games because it's just been too hot to turn PCs and consoles on this past week or so.
I mean, the Steam Deck's the hottest device in the history of the world.
Yeah, but in comparison
it burns
to
your hands after an hour.
In comparison to having the PC blaring on or the PS5 and the TV that both generate heat. I haven't played any. I've played a little bit more Horizon since the last time we spoke. That's all I've wanted to play. And I've refused to install any Assassin's Creed games or anything like that because I thought I can't muddy this up by trying to play a third-person RPG type game while Horizon's still on the plate because I really want to finish it now. But it's just been too warm for it. It's been too warm for it. So I will get back to that at some point. I will. The only other thing I have played is I've played some Power Wash Simulator. It's on Game Pass, and the
ridiculous.
the multiplayer things. I mean, it's so good. Co-op power
Can you just
washing.
come and power wash our garden rather than play the simulator?
I mean,
Come and do it for real.
It is satisfying. It's almost as satisfying in real time as it is on the game. Yeah, it's just nice just to. But I was just chatting to people in Discord, and I thought we could be playing a game while we're doing this. It's effectively what you do. You just jet washing someone's garden while you're just having a conversation, instead of just sitting there doing nothing. And it's just fun. It's just fun playing Power, and it's on Game Pass. And you can have, I don't know, you probably can have 4 players, 4 or 5. So I don't know.
I played that yesterday.
It's fun. It's so very chill.
You played it as well, Anna?
Yeah, I did the
What's
first
wrong
level.
with you people?
It's nice.
Stop playing Hosepipe Simulator.
I would
It's
love
nice.
a thing, what they call a power washer. They look like so
You
much
get
fun.
your car washed there, Kev, if you go on Amazon and spend 50 quid.
They're good. They're very good. Power washers. But that I think is everything.
Well, then we'll end the podcast there, if that's all right with you,
We will.
Paddy.
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah.
Splendid. Well, if people want to find us on the Twitter, they can do that at MGUK Podcast, or they can follow me at Lelujo.
And I'm at RB6K.
I'm at Mr. Lelujo.
And I'm at Pab 1986.
And we will see you next week, boys and girls. I've just scored a lovely goal in Football Manager. Oh, that was beautiful. See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Toodle pip.
Thanks for listening, folks.